Ate Julie!
Kuya Bash,
Busy ka ba?
hindi naman masyado.
Kasi 2021 na. Ang dami pa rin nalilito.
Saan?
Ano ba ang pinagkaiba ng cannabis, hemp at marijuana?
Kuya Bash, simplihan lang natin. Sabihin natin sa kanila. Ang cannabis ay isang plant family na may iba't ibang uri na kinabibilangan ng hemp at marijuana.
Para malaman ang klaseng halamang meron ka, alamin kung anong THC level nila.
Kung less than 0.3% level ang THC nito, panigurado, hemp yan. Pero kung mataas naman ang THC level nito by dry weight, marijuana plant yan.
Galing ah! May buds pa rin ba ang hemp plant?
Oo, basta babae ang cannabis plant, whether hemp or marijuana ito, may buds pa rin ito. Mas sagana nga lang ang buds ng female marijuana plant. Ang marijuana naman, yun ay may mataas na THC level at ang THC ang nagbibigay ng high feeling sa marijuana.
Saan naman nagmumula ang THC ng marijuana?
Sa trichomes. Yun yung tiny translucent na frosty kung titingnan mo at pinapalibot niya yung dahon at buds ng marijuana. Matatagpuan din natin ng resin na pag hinawakan mo yung marijuana, malagkit, resin yun.
Pagdating naman sa itsura, yung hemp, patayo ko tumubo. Patayo ko tumubo! Ay, sorry,
Parang
joke
may
lang.
alam rin ako nakatayo kung tumubo.
Kapuna-puna naman ang haba at tibay ng stalks.
At ginagamit ang stalks nito sa
Paggawa ng damit, papel, tali, at ano pang matitibay na gawa sa hemp.
Mahaba ang tubo, gaya ng ibang halaman na may stalks.
ang paglaki ng marijuana, kung ikukumpara mo sa hemp, ay palabas ang tubo ng mga tangkay nito at nagbumukhang malago ang halaman.
Hindi hamak na mas maraming dahon at buds ang marijuana plants kaysa sa hemp. Lalo na kung magaling nagpapatubo nito.
At kapuna-puna rin ang trichomes ng marijuana, lalo na sa blooming stage. Kung gusto mo ng high-quality buds na natatagpuan sa dispensary, nanggagaling yan sa unfertilized female marijuana plant na kung tawagin ay sinsemilla. Makikita mo rin na babae ang marijuana plant dahil sa reproductive system nito na kung tawagin ay pistil. At doon sa pistil, may lumalabas sa marijuana na parang mabuhok siya, ang tawag doon, stigma.
Ano pala yun? Kasi lahat na nakikita ko puro itlog eh. Lalaki pala yun.
Alam niyo ba na ang kumpol-kumpol na buds ay tinatawag na cola?
Coca-Cola?
Yung init? Hindi! Cola! Cola ko! Cola ka rin! Ang sensimilla ay mas sagana sa buds o flowers. At dahil dito, mas sagana din ito sa terpenes kung saan nagmumula ang lasa at amoy ng cannabis.
Hindi ba yung terpiness?
Maraming trichomes ang sensimilla. Napaka-smooth din ito pag smoke mo. Kung ikumpara mo naman sa ibang cannabis na may buto, harsh yun sa lalaman.
Harsh nga siya. Natikman ko yun. Nalasahan ko yung bogus.
Ang female marijuana plant ay walang buto, di tulad ng male cannabis plant.
At hermaphrodite cannabis plant na may mga bahaging panlalaki at pambabae.
Kung hindi pa kayo sanay tumikim ng cannabis, siguraduhin dahan-dahan lang. At pag nasobrahan ka sa marijuana, baka mahilo ka ng di oras. Lalo na kung mataas ang THC nito.
Mainam na hindi pinagsasabay ang pag-inom ng maraming alak sa marijuana para iwas hilo at pass out.
Tandaan! Walang namamatay sa marijuana! Sa sobrang alak at yosi, meron. Malinaw na ba sa inyo kung ano ang pinagkaiba ng cannabis, hemp at marijuana? Kasi sa akin, klaro na!
Ilaganap ang kaalaman by liking and sharing this post at araw-araw tayong magpasalamat sa Diyos na naglikha ng kalikasan.
Be responsible.
And be safe.
Usually, Sabah.
May alam din ako. Ilaganap ang kaalaman. Nakpa.
Walang namamatay sa marijuana.
Sa sobrang alak.
Lang, sigarilyo.
Hi!
Hello, kamusta?
Yes, good morning, Philippines. Good morning, Philippines, and good evening, California. Good evening kahit maaraw pa. Yes.
Oo nga. Welcome everyone. Again, good morning and good evening to all. So welcome to our sixth episode dito sa Ménage à Trois.
Yes.
So,
And anong
I'm
topic
Pau and
natin?
this is Julie.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
and you. Yeah.
yung topics natin for tonight is pain management at friendship.
Yes.
Actually, quote of the day for today is
What's the
when
quote
you're
of the day?
pain-free. Yung quote of the day, if you're pain-free, you're friendly.
Ayun. Ay, kasi nga naman, 'di ba, pain management i-relate rin natin sa friendship later on. So yes, I agree.
Oo.
Kasi yung
Ano,
mainit ang ulo mo.
ang corny ko.
But that's true. That's why maraming mga iritable pag marami silang masamang nararamdaman sa katawan nila or
Sa
sa environment
katawan.
nila. Yeah.
Oo, kasi 'di ba, parang when you experience pain, nasa-stress ka, hindi mo alam kung hindi mo alam anong gustong posisyon ng katawan mo. So, hindi ka focus when you're experiencing pain na nasa-stress ka. Tsaka yung happy hormones mo sa katawan mo, konti lang.
Yeah.
'Di ba?
And
So, parang
dopamine
ang
ka naman
hirap.
yung nag-happy hormones, 'di ba?
Oo, 'di ba
Oo.
yun yung kumbaga yun yung fuel natin eh, yung happy hormones natin. And so I mean, there are different types of pain, 'di ba? So
Yeah.
emotional, physical,
Physical,
spiritual, aminin na din natin, financial.
mental, 'di ba?
Ah,
Yun.
masakit yun sa bulsa, 'di ba? Pero tonight, gusto ko i-highlight yung yung physical pain dahil doon ako parang nagkaroon ng awareness kung bakit beneficial ang cannabis sa pain ng isang tao. Dahil kasi may friend ako, yung mom niya, nurse dito sa California, and naggumagamit ng CBD.
Okay.
Tapos, gumagamit siya ng CBD dahil ano daw, grabe daw yung rayuma sa umaga. So,
Ilan taon na
gumagamit
yung mom niya, by the way? Like, you think mga
I
50?
think yung mom niya nasa 60s, 50s,
Okay, yes.
60s.
Okay.
Yun yung range. So, nagtaka ako. Sabi ko, wow, si tita, groovy, gumagamit
Wow.
ng cannabis. Sabi
Smoker.
sa akin ng friend, oo. Sabi my friend told me na, no, CBD, wala siyang,
Walang
yung
high.
tinitake niya, walang high feelings. Sabi
Yes.
ko, oh, totoo ba yun?
Oo.
So, tama nga ba yun, Julie?
Yes. Like
Na,
yung
ah,
sa video na nakita nyo, yun nga, yung THC level kasi, pag sinasabi ng hemp is less than 0.3%. So, that's very low. And when it comes naman to CBD, yung question mo, Paula, kung yung CBD ba, wala ba talagang hayan? So,
mm-mm.
alamin din natin kung ano yung mga different CBD na
Okay.
available out there. Let me go ahead and zoom that in for us
Ah,
also. Okay. So here, so what type of CBD should you use? Yung unang question.
mm.
Kita nyo ba?
Malaya,
Yeah,
botanicals.
yes. And Malaya Botanicals, CBD shop siya dito sa California. And it's owned by a Filipina actually. So isa siya sa pioneers here sa CBD and entrepreneur.
Oo.
And her name is Miss Pia Barton. And Hindi kasi alam ng mga ibang tao na may iba't iba palang CBD. There's a full spectrum, like over here, broad spectrum, and isolate. So, for them
Ah,
to know the difference nung tatlo, punta tayo sa full spectrum muna. Okay, nababasa
mm.
niyo? Yeah. Full
Oo.
spectrum, a CBD extracted from hemp with all of the other compounds in the plant. So, ito full spectrum, may kasama pa ring THC yan. Although, mababa lang talaga na it's not really na ano,
Ah,
including terpenes, essential oils. Ay, actually, ito pala, kasama niya talaga yung THC. So, depende kung gaano kataas yung THC nung pag-extract sa full spectrum plant, 'di ba? But, kumbaga, ito yung kasama lahat ng other compounds in the plant. Wala pang
mm.
tinatanggal. Here, sa broad spectrum, a CBD that has extracted from hemp with all of the other compounds from the plant except THC. So, inalis lang ang THC dito. Kasi marami pa pong compounds ang marijuana. Hindi lang po siya CBD. May iba-iba po yan. May THC, tapos may ibang classifications pa. And iba-iba rin yung na-address niyang
Mm.
solusyon sa ating katawan. And then, here naman, isolate. Ito na yung purest form of CBD produced by removing all other compounds, including terpenes. So, ito as in wala talagang high to like THC. It usually comes in the form of odorless, flavorless powder. So, yan naman yung. So, there are
Ah,
different types. So, sorry, exit ko na siya dyan.
mm.
Yes. So for them to know lang, yes, Malaya Botanicals is a CBD shop here. And if you have more questions, of course, you can contact them. And then they have ang daming products pa. O kahit yung mga shampoo, pang pets, meron sila. So,
Ah, shampoo
yeah.
meron. Hindi ko
Oo.
alam.
Yes, yes. Kahit mga bath bombs, ganyan. Yes.
Oo. Nakakita na ako ng cream. Ewan
Oo.
ko nung store yun. Nakakita na ako ng cream. Isang department store sa North Bay. Okay to ah. Pero
Yeah.
ano, pero hindi ko na nagamit. Pero yun nga, nakakita ko nun. Pero shampoo hindi pa.
Oo, merong shampoo. Tapos mga pang pet treats, meron din, ganyan. So, ang dami.
Mm.
Yeah. Magandang i-check nyo rin yung website, malayabotanicals.com for that
Oo.
one.
So, ano talaga, no? Marami talagang resources na talaga na, I guess, super transparent na tayo when it comes to cannabis resources dito sa California and other states sa US. Um, Parang kumbaga ano na siya nagiging part na talaga siya ng culture ng Californians. For example, kasi sa Instagram recently may nakita ako isang influencer. He's from New York and he traveled from New York to LA. LA ba or San Diego? I forgot which one. Tapos they were like driving around. Tapos may nakita silang um ano yun, nagbabike na parang marijuana delivery during,
Yeah,
during dinner hours. Alam mo na, kasi di ba uso na ngayon yung parklet, like, restaurants would build their seatings outside the restaurant and then they would occupy yung parking
yes.
spot. So may nagbabike na parang, kumbaga, I think there is an app that you
Pao,
could,
let
oo.
me cut you off lang. Si Sky is here. Maybe we can add her and then you
Ah, yeah, yeah,
continue,
yeah.
para kasali
Okay,
ka
okay,
sa
okay.
one. Hi, Sky!
Hi!
Hi.
Yes,
Hello, sorry.
Final.
Had some technical difficulties. Alam mo
no
naman.
problem. Now you're here. So,
It's
I'm in the
okay.
go.
farm.
Go na ang Ménage watch
Hello.
threesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Kamusta kayo?
I
Sorry,
love
I'm
your
late.
outfit.
Yes.
Thank you.
How was it
Nasa
to have?
farm. I'm in a farm, in a
Ah,
vineyard, kaya I have to look the part. Sorry,
Yes,
guys.
oh,
of course.
Hello, what have I
hash.
missed?
Well, we're still
Oh,
talking about pain management, and then it's
Okay.
inexplain lang yung CBD when it comes to pain management, because a lot of people are
Gotcha.
using topicals and sometimes yung mga
mm-mm.
tinctures, CBD, ganyan. Anything you can
Yeah.
add about that naman, Sky, since you're here, and then
Yeah.
for CBD
So,
use.
CBDU. So, ayun nga, So CBD is really good for inflammation talaga, and that's our number one. If there's inflammation, there's gonna be pain, usually, So CBD is very good with that, and wala siyang THC, so hindi siya nakaka-high.
Yes, pag in-isolate
Alright,
niya yun,
so
oo.
so gusto lang naman i-stress yun, hindi siya nakaka-high, and but for me in my experience, CBD with a little bit of THC works better for me.
Yeah,
So
or
like
kahit
I said, it's a
sabay,
case-to-case basis.
yeah.
Yeah, 50-50 pwede rin.
Yes.
Why not, diba?
Oo.
Oo. Ayun nga, Sky, sinabi ko nga kay Julie kasi Julie showed this quick slideshow na yung yung CBD nga pwede ring wala siyang THC. So may full spectrum, may broad spectrum, tsaka may isolate.
Yeah.
So nabanggit and then nasabi ko nga na we are at this time na nagiging part na ng culture yung cannabis lifestyle kasi sobrang transparent na tayo when it comes to resources. And as an example, I mentioned earlier, yun nga yung isang influencer who is from New York who came to to LA, and then they saw this during dinner hours. May nagbabike, nagde-deliver ng ng cannabis sa doon sa parklet. So parang na siya, parang siyang Uber Eats style pero marijuana yung dinideliver. So I thought that was, parang ang saya lang tignan na nagiging hindi na kumbaga nagtatago ba.
Oo. Yeah.
'Di ba? Parang ang saya lang tignan. And um so yeah, so speaking of resources, nandiyan na kulang at kukunin na lang para lang magamit. Um I want to talk about epilepsy, yung
Yes.
seizures yung population na talagang natatouch ako lagi is yung mga bata na natatama na merong ganitong klaseng condition. Yung may mga episodic unusual behaviors. Tapos kasi nakakaawa talaga kapag na-witness mo na nasa-struggle yung bata. Like for example, sa grocery store ka, 'di ba? May ma-witness ka na may nagkakaroon ng episode yung bata. And then nakikita mo rin kung paano yung struggle ng magulang. Alam mo rin yung emotions na pinagdadaanan nila tapos ang dami pang nanonood. Parang
Yeah.
napaka-uncomfortable ng situation. And I've seen some documentaries na talagang napapakalma ng cannabis ang seizure, not only for kids but also for adults.
Yeah.
Kasi may mga muscle spasms. Pero ang tanong ko sa inyo, dalawa, ano yung tingin nyo na strain na pwedeng na makatulong para makontrol yung muscle spasm or yung seizures?
Kung anong strain? Well,
Oo.
actually,
Or anong klaseng cannabis or anong klaseng marijuana yung iti-take?
yung madalas pa rin for seizures na madalas nire-recommend would be a high CBD one. But they still combine it with a bit of THC pa rin, yung iba.
Mm-mm.
So, when it comes to strains, you look for that one, the one with the high
Mhm.
CBD. So, para kasi yung CBD or yung cannabinoid, all of our organs actually have endocannabinoid receptors. So, yung endocannabinoids, yun yung responsable to make all our organs na balance yung chemicals, yung sistema natin. It actually helps yung mga toxic na aalis yan sa endocannabinoid. It's natural for us to have that. It's in
Mm-mm.
our body. So, yung CBD, knowing that it's cannabinoid, nakukuha yun ng endocannabinoid receptors natin. And same thing, kung ano man yung imbalances natin sa katawan natin, na nababalance out yun ng cannabinoid. So, it's actually, if you really think about it, like, and that is yung endocannabinoid receptors natin, it helps talaga keep us healthy, in short. And
Mhm.
taking in cannabinoids is actually doing good for our organs, to be straightforward. So yung sa epileptic, yun yung power talaga ng CBD, and not only sa mga epileptic, even with sa cancer patients, because um the cannabinoids parang nagti-trigger sila ng, it's called apoptosis, wherein the cancer cells literally commit suicide, but then the good cells aren't harmed at all. So meron din nakikita na sa studies yun. But yeah,
Mhm.
actually, can I show this um study about yung
Yeah.
epilepsy na, yeah, sige.
Ah, yes.
See.
Yeah.
So this one. So it says here, medical cannabis has 96% chance of seizure reduction in childhood epilepsy. So look at that percentage, is very close to 100. So that's how
Mhm.
cannabis has been helping a lot of kids who had seizures due to epilepsy. Yeah, reducing
Mm-mm.
seizures in children. So yeah, if they just,
So,
yes,
like
go ahead.
bouncing off what Julie has mentioned with regarding to endocannabinoids. So,
Mm-mm.
for example, our brain is like a highway. All right, 2 lanes, 3 lanes, 4 lanes. Lahat yon may daloy. All right. So, may
Mm-hmm.
mga times na yung connections natin hindi nagkakatugma. All right. There's some backing up, there's some traffic, there's some, uncoordination. So what when you take CBD, it kind of resets those pathways in order to organize those pathways, and that's the first fold. When we're talking about seizures here in epilepsy, kasi wag seizures ka, you have an increased activity of the brain, diba? Kaya
Yeah.
nagkaka-seizure ka. Like they have input, may triggers ka, pwedeng light, pwedeng activity, pwedeng excitement. A lot of things can trigger seizures.
Yes.
And what CBD does, it kind of decreases the impulses. It kind of calms
Uh-huh.
down your impulses. That's why you don't have a seizure episode. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no real studies it can cure. So but it will decrease the episode. It'll decrease seizures before it becomes something worse. Before it becomes like a full on epileptic condition. So
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, it kind of parang controls your symptoms
Yeah.
rather than
Yes,
and
exactly.
another thing is, yes, it controls the symptoms, and the thing is we need more research with regards to
Oo.
dosage tsaka frequency. Yun talaga yung important na, yeah, we know that cannabis helps, but how often do we take this and how much milligrammage? I think that's one thing we have
Mm-hmm.
to really focus on
Yes.
in order to be more effective for our patients.
Oo, dun naman tayo
Yeah.
kulang kasi sa totoo lang ang daming compounds ng marijuana. It's not
Mm.
just, again, it's not just THC and CBD. And if we can really study each of those compounds to really know what these compounds
Mm-hmm.
really are targeting, na parang ano talaga yung tulong na, very specific, then
Mm-hmm.
ang ganda nung magiging resulta ng clinical studies kung talagang mahimay nila ng todo yung
Tama.
Yes.
cannabis, kasi it's already
Yeah.
proven that this plant has a lot of healing properties. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, tama. And I totally agree with you both na kasi talagang kulang talaga sa research. And kasi kapag ano talaga, kasi ako mahilig talaga ako sa bata, and ano talaga, parang kapag nakikita ko may nahihirapan na
Oh,
bata,
yeah.
parang sobrang
Ang
naaapektuhan
hirap
ako.
din.
Oo,
Yes.
ang hirap kasing panoorin.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos ang kinaiinisan ko palalo is, personal reaction ko lang naman 'to, is yung kapag yung may isang naka-witness na gano'ng sitwasyon, parang alam mo yung parang, uy, alam mo yung parang bigla silang nasho-shock ta's biglang judge na agad. So
Yeah.
nagkakaroon tuloy ng ano, ng stigma. Dati pa nga may narinig pa nga akong isang parent sabi, "Oh, 'wag ka nang makipaglaro diyan kasi ano
Ganun na.
'yan, may episode 'yan mamaya." Alam mo 'yun, yung mga gano'n ba? Sabi
Yes.
ko, "Why?" And And paano natin mapoprotect yung ganong klaseng situations, both sa bata and sa magulang. And kasi nga kulang talaga nga sa research, kulang sa education, sa education sa community, sa public. Um,
Yes.
kasi yun nga, yung
Like,
pwede ko rin siyang oo, go ahead,
yeah, go
Julie.
ahead. Sorry. No, it's okay.
Ah,
Like, I'll say it after.
oo. Ano kasi parang yung sa palliative care setting naman, nare-recognize na kasi siya. Alam naman na ng marami na rin ng healthcare professionals na medicinal cannabis could actually help sa stress, sa pain, people who have sleep disorders or yung mga appetite loss, sa cancer, oo, meron na
Even
ganon.
asthma.
And,
Yeah.
ah,
Oo.
tama,
Mm. Yeah.
tama. Oh, kasi before na-mention nga ni Sky sa isa nating episode na if your prescription is working for you, great. Okay yun. Pero kung hindi, recognize other alternatives. Pero yung yung isang alternative nga doon is yung medicinal cannabis. Kaso nga lang, hindi lang talaga alam paano nila ma-elevate yung research to guide clinicians. Kasi nga yung dosage. Nabanggit din yung dalawa kanina is yung dosage.
Yes.
So, tawag mo dito. Kasi nga, di ba kapag yung isang pasyente um, na-diagnose siya na kailangan niya ng palliative care, ang dami ang daming variable na dapat i-include doon para paano mo maaalagaan yung pasyente. 'Di ba 'di ba Sky?
Yes.
Ang
So
dami.
yeah, so in a palliative care team, all right. So I'm an occupational therapist. Kasama ako sa team na
Mm-mm.
yon. I'm
Yeah.
very much involved with patients under palliative care. So ito yung mga pasyenteng may mga lifelong sakit na, may mga lifelong
Mm-mm.
ailments.
Long-term illnesses na
Yes,
talaga.
and our goal is to decrease hospitalizations and to provide comfort. Iba to sa hospice, ah. So eto, they still receive services, they still receive therapies, they receive all kinds of,
Mm.
address their condition. Pero to may extent na siya. So we won't anymore try to cure what's happening with the patient. More of being comfortable na siya.
Mm-mm.
So yun, and I get to work with these patients, and a lot of them are elderly, and a lot of them, number one, walang appetite. Walang appetite kumain, walang
Mm.
appetite, to do anything. So I think cannabis can really help in that department, just getting the elderly to eat again.
Yeah.
Kasi,
Mm-mm.
food, they need the energy, they need the nutrition. And I think that's one way to really I think we have to open our minds to
Options.
effects of cannabis
Mm-mm.
options, instead of giving so many pain medications. Kasi ang pain medications,
Padagdag
madaming
lang
side
ng
effects yan eh.
padagdag yan.
Mm.
Dadagdag ng side effects.
Side effect.
Yung blood pressure mo, bababa, ang daming mga, tapos people forget their medications. And when they forget their medications, they try to double up. And that's when all these problems come in. They can't
Mm.
manage their medication. So can you imagine if we take out some of the medications and exchange it with
Yes.
something more natural? That's something that will
Healthy.
help them na walang side
Healthy.
effects. Yung side effects man nila is, increased appetite.
Yeah,
Di ba? We
it's
want
not
that,
really
di ba?
harming the system.
Oh.
But
It's not harming the system.
guys, to be straightforward, because we want the same thing dito sa atin legal na, and we've seen the effects of it, the medical benefits
Mm-hmm.
that it has given a lot of people when it comes to pain management, since we're talking about pain management. In the Philippines, they are really having a hard time na buksan yung batas because one of the things that's hindering medical cannabis um uh, to be safe and legal in the Philippines na mga tao would have access to it. One of the things that's keeping that from happening is the Republic Act 9165. This one basically talks about the dangerous drugs in the Philippines. And kasama doon, tatlo yung mga nakalagay doon. Opium, meth, and cannabis. Sinama nila yung
Mm.
tatlo na yun.
Mm-hmm.
And kaya hindi nila ma-open up pa yung medical cannabis because of that RA 9165. And ang tagal ng law kasi nitong RA 9165. And I think it's really time for them to update their law because
That's
just
Yeah.
last December 2020, even the United Nations, the World Health Organization,
Oh.
di ba, inalis na nga yung
Inalisan na
cannabis
nila.
kaparte ng mga meth, heroin, and all that. Inalis na nila.
Totoo. Tinlasan
It's
nila.
not, change the schedule then, Philippines. Hello,
Yeah.
like, buong mundo, like, na-recognize na yon by the United Nations and
Mm-mm.
World Health Organization. Like, it's time to update that. And it's time to welcome medical cannabis. Come on, because that will be the great equalizer, like what me, Ryan, and Kuya Ed were also talking about. Na isipin mo na lang na yung mga hindi maka-afford ng medicine, ang daming namamatay sa Philippines dahil ano ba
Mm-hmm.
doon, down payment muna pag na-hospital ka, kailangan may down payment ka. It's so different, 'di ba? So just the fact na paano yung mga walang down payment. But if people can have access to medical cannabis and they can draft the policy in such a way na meron din parang amount that they can plant on their own, 'di ba? Grow your own
Oo.
cannabis so you can heal yourself. Eh di ang daming matutulungan nun. Yung mga naghihirap para lang gamutin yung sarili nila would have free access, 'di ba? And at the same
Yeah.
time, they can make it into a livelihood. Ang dami niyang matutulungan. And yun lang naman,
Mm-hmm.
it's just sad kasi we're talking about pain management and marami rin nagko-contact sa akin sa Philippines na yung anak nila may severe autism. They've heard CBD helps a lot with severe autism or autistic na mga bata. And
Mm-mm.
um, yun, like magtatanong sila, how can we have access to that alam
Yeah.
namin na safe kami. Right now, it's kind of hard to say that because in the Philippines, it's illegal. And they just really have to do the steps already to get
Mm-hmm.
updated with the law also kasi kinopya lang rin naman nila yung nangyari sa dito sa western world, 'di ba? Sa atin about
Yeah.
yung criminalizing cannabis before, like we've already updated ours. And I just hope that they can see how medical cannabis is really a thing kasi I think at some point sabi ata, correct me if I'm wrong, but sabi ata
Mm.
ni Senator Soto is at some point he said he doesn't believe in medical cannabis. But please,
Mm.
the information is out there na may internet na tayo, ang tagal na,
Yeah.
2025. Yes.
Yeah. I guess ano lang, parang reevaluate lang
Yes.
on what we already know. And in addition to that, ano pa yung additional resources? It's not we're trying to force you what we believe in or what we try to advocate
It's not
for, but
forcing.
it's more of like letting everyone know that hey, there are updated resources.
Yes.
Let us sit down and reevaluate our thought processes. Kasi ano ang bilis kaya ng takbo ng buhay ngayon. Like, tingnan nyo, Saturday na ngayon.
At saka
So,
grabe, ano na,
Yeah.
June na ng
June na.
2021. Like,
That's right.
kalahati na ng taon. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah.
Kasi, ano rin,
Yeah.
talagang nakakaawa talaga sa Philippines, especially like, communities that are, far reach na sobrang layo nila sa ospital. Tapos, alam mo yun, kung, halimbawa, if someone is struggling with seizure or what kind of, kahit anumang sakit na cannabis could cure it, isipin mo, parang very accessible sa kanila, nasa garden lang nila.
Oo.
Tapos, pwede ng di ba, hindi yung, pahirapan pa bago makapunta sa kabilang bayan para lang makita si doktor. Parang nakakaano lang, nakakahabag lang
Yeah.
ng loob.
Parang in my personal experience, I think cannabis in the Philippines will really help a lot of people with siguro mental health would be a good start, really,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Kasi for me, it really helped me with anxiety. It helped me, especially during this time of COVID, yung when like everything was just crashing down at some point. We need to calm down and reassess ourselves and reflect And
Mm-mm.
cannabis really helped me achieve those mental states of calmness, of enlightenment in my personal experience. So for me, it's something I want to share with my friends, especially in the Philippines, who are going through a rough time, who are
Mm-hmm.
going through a lot of pain, emotional pain or spiritual pain or whatever pain they're going through, to break through that with the use of cannabis.
Yes.
So we
Mm-hmm.
also have, let's go also beyond. For me, it goes beyond physical
Yeah.
healing. For me, it
Oo.
transcends to other
Overall
aspects of
healing
my
talaga.
life. Yeah,
Yes.
overall, really. So that's, I think, for me, that's my number one advocacy when it comes to cannabis. It's aside from the pain management, and aside from the physical tangible, mga muscle ache and all that, it's the things we don't see that really help with my mental state. So yeah.
And
Mm-mm.
just look naman, like, this is like, if you really think about it, let's say, uy, bagong tao tayo sa Earth, di ba? Naglalakad lang tayo. Tapos nakita mo yung halaman na nahimik dyan, no? Illegal yan! Bawal yan! Bawal! Like, seriously, like, di ba? Parang,
Oo.
ang, like, if you really think about it na ganon, parang orange tree. Ay, teka lang. Nakakabigay ng energy, yung vitamin C. Huwag bigyan ng energy. Bawal yan. Bawal yan. Or something. It's so silly that people are demonizing a
Mm-hmm.
plant. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of, kasama na talaga yan sa kultura even before. Why can't people check the indigenous natives, you know, the ones who
Mm-hmm.
have been using it, have been part of their culture, and hindi sila kasama dun sa, kasi, di ba yung mga indigenous, meron silang set of, parang may set of governance din sila on their own,
Yeah,
right?
my
Separate
tribe.
sila, right? Oo,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, yun pa lang eh, like, dun pa lang makikita mo na kung ano na rin, kung paano nila ina-apply yung marijuana. Kasi, kung yung mga gumagamit nun, di ba, like,
Mm.
na it's not part of the nasa law natin na pwede talaga sa kanila. Doon pa lang makikita nila the healing effects of it doon sa tribe na yun. As
Mm-hmm.
simple as that. Like, parang there's no excuse to turn a blind eye right now because the information is out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And I
Yeah.
truly agree yung sinasabi ni Sky na it's not just for physical pain, it's for overall. That's true. Because at the same time, when you feel depressed, there's a certain imbalance that's happening in your
On
body,
your hormones,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
right? Yes. And like what we said, cannabis balances you out, especially yung CBD because of the endocannabinoid receptors.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really not rocket science if you think about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
yun, like, by the way, guys, pansinin naman natin yung mga nagko-comment.
Ay, oo nga
For
pala, sorry.
example, Ricky Silva he asked, "Is this live feed?" Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Because we've been talking, but yes, thank you for being here and watching. And then si Jairus Paklipan. Ayan, green hearts. Thank you. And then we do have our friend here, Sky, si Jay. Hi,
Hi,
Jay.
Jay. High school.
Yes.
From our high school days.
Yeah.
Ano ba
So,
to, Ian?
CBD really does act like a circuit breaker for our body's electrical surges. Tama.
Mm-hmm.
Great job bringing awareness, you guys. Padayon. Thanks, Jay. Yes.
Meron pa
Oo.
si Johnny David.
Johnny. Yes.
Pa-shout out
Johnny.
naman po dyan.
Ah,
Hello.
Hi, Johnny.
Johnny David. That's
Oh,
the brother of
David.
Jane. Yes. David
Ah,
Silva.
okay, okay, okay,
Oh,
okay.
yes. Hi, Johnny. And then si Jojo Calamba. Hi, Miss Julie. And then si Miss Kai din. Pati si Miss Cora. Yes.
Miss Pa.
Right.
Yes.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello,
Thank
Hello.
Jojo. Pa-shoutout naman
you.
kami para sa amin din.
Ah,
Oo.
pa-shout
Yeah.
out din.
Yes.
Pa-shoutout din.
Oo.
Joke lang.
Shout out, Sky.
Shout out nga pala kay
Shoutout pa. Oh.
kay Sky and Jonas kasi itong rig ko na to, my dab rig is from them. You remember Sky? Yeah.
Yes, of
Yes.
course.
Ang cute. May design na
Yeah. Oo,
pag
di
ganun.
ba? just go with the
Birthday mo ba
flow.
yan? Birthday mo ba nun?
Yes,
Or
I
ano?
think this is, yeah,
Birthday.
birthday. Birthday,
Uh,
last year, yeah.
birthday yata.
O yung ano ko,
Ang
18.
cute.
Bilis, no?
Joke lang. 18. Oo.
Bilis ng panahon.
Ay,
Yeah.
sobra. Biruin mo
And then,
June
shout
na.
out nga
Ah,
pala kay, ano daw, sabi ni Miguel, kay Hash Animals, kay Jonas, for giving us pang-dad. Thank you.
ah.
Wow.
Thank you,
Yan
sir.
ba yung machine na ginanon?
Oo, yung ganun, pressure that.
Isa sa mga ano, extractions.
Yes.
Naks
Oo.
naman.
Yes.
Yan.
Scientist ang dating.
Diba?
Madami kaming hobby sa bahay. Di maubusan.
Oo, tsaka marami
So right
equipment
now,
for that
oo,
cannabis.
right now we are drying our personals sa bahay. Our
Nice.
personal cannabis. So we're just drying it up. So pagbukas ko ng CR, parang may nakasabit, parang naglalaba lang kami.
Oo.
Ayun. So, ayun, I'm excited kasi first time namin mag-grow in our in our
Yes.
home for our
Yes.
personal use. It's our first time. So, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yes, that's good. Yay. Yeah.
Galing naman. Meron pa sa banyo.
Yes.
Ayun nga. So, going back nga doon, gusto ko yung mga points na bringing up ninyo, Julie and Sky. And ano lang talaga, no, parang, oo, nandiyan na yung resources. It's just that the ball is in their courts now. And yung talagang baby step na lang, just to listen and just show compassion. You don't have to agree right away, but all you need to do is like listen and just show compassion as a human being. Kasi tao tayo. And it's in our nature din na parang, alam mo yon na magpakitang tao tayo sa, alam mo, sa karamihan. Um, Kasi ako before, when growing up in the Philippines, wala akong kakilala or I don't have anyone who is using cannabis as part of their lifestyle until when I moved here in California. And I met a lot of who are my friends now, who are using it. And at first, I asked myself, na, am I okay with this? Am I okay with hanging out with folks who are actively
Especially
using
from
cannabis?
before na wala ka talagang idea about it, and it was
Yeah.
just the media telling you what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because of the influence of the media, what I see on the TV or like, yung news and
Yes.
all that. That really triggered on how I used to react
Yes.
sa cannabis until until na-meet ko yung mga friends ko when I was in college. Tapos I really love my friends. Kayo, mahal ko kayo. Alam mo yun na parang I really enjoy I really enjoy yung company nila. Tapos I step back and inisip ko na, am I okay with this? Na gumagamit sila ng cannabis. Anong iisipin ng family ko na yung friends ko gumagamit nun? So, parang inano ko na lang. Kasi by nature makapal naman talaga mukha ko. Pero
Confident is
mahiyain.
key.
At saka mahiyain din naman ako to a certain degree. Pero tinanong ko talaga friends ko, sabi ko, ba't yung ginagamit yan? Alam niyo ba sa Philippines, medyo hindi okay yan. Gumanon ako. And these are not just Filipinos. They are not just Filipino Americans, but halo-halo, iba't ibang lahi sila. And doon ko na realize na, okay, may medicinal benefits pala siya. Tapos I learned about their stories, hindi lang recreational, but also for their personal health as a whole. So, nag-initiate talaga ako na intindihin ko kung bakit nila ginagawa yun. Kasi, like, I want my circle to be safe. I'm very protective of that. Ayoko ng toxic na circle kasi doon ako kumukuha ng lakas eh.
Yung energy,
Doon ako,
of course, the one you're surrounding yourself with, you kind of,
Extrovert ka
yeah.
pala, Pao.
Ano, medyo middle ako, extrovert tsaka introvert.
Middle.
Minsan antisocial din ako.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pero totoo yan.
Ako
Totoo
din.
yan. Like, in all honesty, like, prior to me meeting my husband, like, I would consume cannabis maybe once a month, twice a month for recreational use. Kung meron, di meron. Kung may brownies, di meron. Di ba? Kung wala, di wala.
Mm.
Okay lang. But when we were starting dating him, when we started dating, ako medyo na culture shock din ako at some point. Because
Mm.
he smokes every chance he gets. Like,
Like me.
every time na magkasama kami, he'd bust out his rig, he'd be smoking, like before the movies, kung makakapuslit
Mm.
during the movie, after the movie, like he's always just smoking. I'm like, I mean, is that okay? Matino naman siyang kausap.
Kasi
Hindi naman
basta
siya
kontrolado niya yung sarili niya.
hindi naman siya out of this world. He's still here. Pero, yun nga, parang doon ko na-realize that he's using it medicinally. He's using it in a medicinal manner, which keeps him focused, which
Yeah.
keeps him present, which keeps him interact. In that sort of, in the other side of the use of cannabis is that he used it for his personal medical purposes then. So it,
And
it takes a little adjustment. So I kind of understand where you're coming from, Pao, na okay ba to? So, naintindihan kong sinasabi mo na, that it's a culture shock. It's something to get used to as well.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like for example, like nga yung ibang mga tao kahit na let's say ako na yes, I use it daily. If I don't have it, okay lang. In all
Mhm.
honesty, kasi kailangan rin magtipid. Minsan mahal po ang cannabis dito sa California. But in all honesty, yung sinasabi for me personally, yung recreational, that's also medical for me. Kasi
Mm.
just because recreational is because like yeah, it relaxes
Relax.
me and then I would rather smoke a lot of weed than take a lot of shots, you know what I mean? So
Mm.
nag-switch na rin yung preference ko na I'd rather okay lang kahit walang alcohol, like weed is better for me to take parang recreationally, you can say. But
Mhm.
the
Mm-hmm.
recreational use will always have a medical use for me because I guess it helps with anxiety, and I do experience anxiety sometimes because I do have PTSD on my own life experiences as well na it
Mm.
helps me because it yung 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 utak na minsan magulo, it slows it down na mas
Mm-hmm.
nahihimay mo yung
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 thought
thought
process
process
mo.
mo, and at the same time it helps me because it takes me away from too much emotions and too much thought, in a sense that I can observe myself in a higher level of consciousness, wherein I would be observing myself. Oh, Julie, this is what you're thinking. Is it
Uh-huh.
really working? Overthinking
Yeah.
about something that
Yeah.
you can't really do
Uh-huh.
anything. And then it kind of, I find humor out of it. I laugh
Yeah.
about it after, and then I'll be like, okay, yeah, tama. Mind-made problems, it's just in the mind. Right now is what really matters. Right now, there's no problem.
Uh-huh.
And right now, there's so much things that you can actually do. Things like that. It just keeps me humble. That's the
Mhm.
key also because I use it because it helps me go into a higher level of consciousness, and I can analyze myself, my thinking, my emotions better because of that. Then I use that to keep myself
Yeah.
humble. Parang back up lang muna
Mm.
yung mga negative traits, di ba? Here comes the
Oo.
realization na, oops, okay lang, ganito, ganito gawin natin. And then, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yung recreational sa akin,
mm.
bumabalik pa rin sa medical. And that's why all use for me is
Yeah.
medical.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
think that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
yeah. Kasi ako rin naman na witness ko rin naman din yun sa mga friends ko. Like if we were like all panicking about our midterms or our finals or like right now where everyone has their own jobs na yun nga din sinasabi nila is it really does help to keep them present and think rationally.
Yeah.
Kasi kasi ano yun nga like yung reaching out lang ba and yung eager to learn and to question things. Ano rin eh, parang it's how you would like to educate yourself. Like, how do you educate yourself para lang magkaroon ka ng full awareness of like what's really happening around you. Kasi hindi naman lahat na hindi naman natin alam lahat. No one knows everything. 'Di ba? If everybody knows
That's
everything,
true.
at least sana lahat tayo milyonaryo na at
That is
alam
the
na natin
highest
lalabas sa
wisdom
loto.
of them all. We know
Yeah.
really we don't know everything.
Yeah, we don't
We
know
know so little,
everything.
all of us. Yeah.
Oh.
Ako
And
naman, for me, it's the opposite. I'm super high. I'm super emotional. Like, I just bust into tears. I'm just
Maybe that is
crying.
therapy. There's
That,
something that
yeah.
you just need to put out. Like, yun nga, binabalanse niya
Yeah.
therapy
yung
yun.
yung chemical mo sa katawan,
Imbalance.
and that's how
Oo.
you
Yeah,
kind of
that's how I
heal.
express it.
Yes. Oh.
So I just
Mm-mm.
cry. I cry it out. So where my thoughts go, I let it be. You know, I let it go.
Yeah, that's healing.
Mm-mm.
Maybe you need
Kasi,
to go to those thoughts.
next thing we know,
Yeah.
we're thinking about it again. So it doesn't work that way. So what I do is I run
Uh-huh.
Not your tongue.
things, root cause
Mm-hmm.
of it, moving forward with these thoughts. Kaya ako naging emotional. Like, hinihimay-himay ko yun.
Mm-mm.
And,
But do you go over
I,
and over and over, or once you process it, like you feel like you've completely
yes.
processed it, you move on? Because I think you have
So
to.
I think that's
therapeutic
what
siya
I do.
sa'yo.
Yes, yeah. So
That's
it's,
good.
it's like a
That's good.
session. So after I
Yeah.
cry it out, that tama si
Yes.
Julie. Like for me,
Oo.
so pagkatapos na, tapos na siya. Hindi ko na siya binabalikan pa.
Kailangan eh.
I
May
Oh,
think
mga
that's
ganun
nice.
eh. That's a good ano,
Maganda
because I know that
yun yung therapeutic.
for like
Mm-mm.
alone time, especially when like talaga kung may mabigat talaga akong pinagdadaanan, I really crave for my alone time because that's what I do also. I have to
Mm-mm.
let it out. I smoke cannabis and then I get so like I analyze it in such a way na ano naman, like I'm really, um like no judgment on my part. Whatever I say, it's probably because of anger, but there's no judgment on my anger at the moment, like ganon, I accept myself, but it's my alone time thing when I'm going through something very difficult. Yeah, no, labas mo lang, iyak mo
Labas mo
Mm-mm.
lang,
lang.
analyze mo
Oo.
lang hanggang sa afternoon, yun.
Let go
Okay
mo
ka
na.
na after that.
Oo,
Oo, let
yeah,
go mo
yeah,
na.
Mm-mm.
let's go.
Let go mo na. Napakasarap ng ganong feeling na you have control. Eh,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
you have control and you know how to handle yourself because you know how to treat yourself. Ang very ano yun, very light ng feeling na yon if you ever if you are in that experience. Kasi ano ang napapansin ko with others is that once they have this thought or once they have this vision, they just stick to it. Like they get stuck on what they believe in, and they don't and then they disregard whatever other would say or whatnot. So yung education lang talaga, it's really up to people on how far they can open themselves up. Actually i-share ko lang,
Oh,
since nabanggit ko yung yung parang subjective and versus objective na parang yung concept na ganun. Um, yung parable I don't know if you have already read it or you know it. Yung parable ng six blind men and the elephant. Have
Mm-hmm.
you ladies
Yeah.
heard about that? Yeah. Yeah, so i-share ko lang sa viewers natin who's not familiar with this parable. So a group of six blind men who have never come across with an elephant before. So when they felt the presence of this elephant, they touched the different parts of the elephant, except for the tusk, yung ano nung ganun
oh
nung
yeah.
elephant.
Mhm.
Mm-mm. So so they were touching it, and they have different descriptions of what an elephant would look like. So while they were like describing it out loud, kasi nga bulag sila, hinahawakan lang nila. And then they could hear other folks comments. they suspect na they're being dishonest, that they're wrong. Tapos bigla sila nag-away-away. So there was an argument because of, misconception. And no, this is what it looks like. No, this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
So I guess yung moral ng parable is that as humans, we have the tendency to claim what is the truth, just basing it on our limited experiences.
Very
And
subjective truth.
oo, very, very subjective tayo. And we stick to it, what we think or what we feel what the truth is. Whereas we parang dinedisregard natin right away whatever opposes to it, which could be, equally true. Um, so I guess yun yung nangyayari ngayon
Yes.
sa sa paligid natin, sa community, is that dito sa California we have an understanding about the benefits of this of cannabis,
Yes.
whereas sa Philippines wala eh.
Unless
Parang
they've
unless
experienced it, or unless nakita nila na may kapamilya sila, or very
mm-mm.
close, someone close to them na gumamit ng medical cannabis at tulungan ng medical cannabis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diba? Pero yeah, usually sa Philippines, they're very close-minded.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also hindi din naman din sa Philippines. I guess
Yeah.
in other cultures too.
Even here, may mga ano pa rin, conservative Filipinos, you can say,
Mm-mm.
who just wants to turn a blind eye on the medical
Oo.
benefits of cannabis. But nakikita ko naman din talaga na may mga namumulat rin naman talaga.
Mm-mm. And I guess ito yung purpose din naman ng platform natin, na Ménage, Trois, is we are advocating for growth. Why? Because we want to educate everyone. Because I really believe na through education, we are able to uplift everyone. And yung sa cannabis world and yung sa mental health awareness,
Oh, yes.
napaka-importante niyan these days. Before tabu siya na hindi natin pag-uusapan.
You know, kasi ako, like, for example, minsan nararamdaman ko na kung may nalaman ako na nag-suicide, ganyan. Minsan niisip ko, sana kung like, nakaupo siya, like, he could have sat down with a friend and smoked cannabis and then get through with that anxiety of wanting to kill yourself. Because, yun nga, kasi yung cannabis nakaka-add sa relaxation. Like, siguro ang dami rin naligtas ng cannabis kung talagang, people can just be open to the medical use of it, na yung mga taong sarado pa yung isip nila about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Julie. Sana there would be a time na everyone would treat or see cannabis as a paracetamol
Yes.
or like a
And we're hoping
Tylenol
for that.
or
So,
oo.
Philippines, please, yeah. Kumbaga, wake up yung mga
Wake up,
natutulog.
wake up.
O yung mga gising naman, pero nakahiga pa rin ng kama, hindi ayaw kumilos, di ba? Parang bahala sila dyan kasi meron naman ako
Yeah.
sarili kong PSG.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't, like, for me, like, isipin natin yung bigger picture talaga. And it's not just about us. This is not about us. It's about how it's gonna affect the healing of the whole world, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
And also, like, kung paano natin mapoproject yung, alam mo, yung timeline, like, how do we see ourselves in 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Yung buong mundo, nare-recognize na tayo. We're still at the back seat. So I don't think that is healthy.
Yeah, maybe not in this administration, maybe in the next. I'm hoping that, we need a younger generation to really stand up. We need a younger registration to register. I think that's number one.
yes.
Guys, you gotta register. Young people, you gotta register. Don't say na bahala na yung matatanda magboboto. No, we really got to. We got to the young people. We gotta stand up and hear our voices and choose wisely this coming election for 2022. That's really the only thing we can do, really.
Here. They
Yeah.
can still hear us. So, this is the Yes We Can or Medical Cannabis Party in the Philippines. There's already a party list for elections 2022. And if you can check
Mm-hmm.
their Facebook page, Medical Cannabis Party, just search it, you'll see that exact logo here. Um, Meron silang registration link doon para pasok talaga yung Medical Cannabis Party list for elections 2022. Please register, lalo na yung mga voters na sa Philippines. Para pasok talaga ang medical cannabis,
Yes.
maasikaso nila.
Mm-hmm.
And aside pa doon, another thing, yung RA Republic Act, the Republic Act 9165. Please, if we can update that or repeal that, I'm asking for the ones in the position in the Philippines to
Yeah.
take a look at that. So, para talagang ma-continue yung movement ng medical cannabis sa Philippines, because that's one of the major things that's keeping
Mm-hmm.
the Philippines from considering medical cannabis. And yes,
Yeah,
yun
because
naman.
it goes hand in hand. Like, if they don't amend it, then what's the purpose of registering
Yeah.
it?
Yes,
So
exactly.
it goes hand in hand, and I hope people, Filipinos, would be proactive this
Yes.
incoming term.
Yes,
Yeah,
election
if you are
2022.
legal to vote, vote.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All
So
right, guys.
thank you. Thank you. So, oh, may mga nag-chat ba sa atin? May
Let's
mga shout
see.
out. Wala naman.
Sila na, oo, sila pa rin. So, thank you sa inyo. Thank you
Thank
sa
you so
mga
much.
nanood. And
Yes.
comment. Yes. And thank you,
Yeah.
Johnny David. First time nag-comment. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you everyone who tuned in tonight. And
Yes.
next week we are going live again. California time, 6 p.m. Manila time, 9 a.m. Sunday, Manila time actually.
Yes. And we're going to talk
Yeah.
about next week. It's vulnerability and courage. So,
Yeah.
yes. Join us. Yay.
Next week.
All
Well,
Yes.
right.
thank you
Next week
so
ulit.
much.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
just to end this, kung okay lang ba, because I just released a song recently, I just wanna
Yes.
promote it a little bit. So Julie Saints, I just released Freedom, and to end our live stream, we'll play that. But after that, definitely wala na rin kami. So we're gonna say our byes right now. Thank
All
you,
right.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
thank
Thank you. See you
you.
again next Saturday, Sunday.
Yes, take
Yeah. See
Take
you.
care.
care.
Bye.
I don't know if I can write this all down. All I know is that it hurts. This is where I try to make my own sound. Bleeding inside, yet still I rise.